Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds, welcome to another Ask the Cheeseman. This is where you can ask all your home cheese making questions. Just a sip of coffee. Lovely. Okay, welcome one and all. This is episode 142. We're getting up there, that's for sure. So a little bit of housekeeping today. First of all, shout out to new patron Brenda Crouch. Thank you, Brenda, for your kind patronage over there on Patreon. And there are no new YouTube members, but thanks to all the YouTube members, and you can see in the chat, you'll see that people with green names and a little cheesy icon after them are the YouTube members. If you want to become a YouTube member and get early access to the cheese making videos, then same with patrons, the links are in the description below. I've been working diligently on 2 cheeses, and I know there hasn't been a real cheese video for a while, but I have been flat out. So nearly finished is Microbial, and I'm hoping to get that up tonight sometime for early access for YouTube members and patrons, and then it'll be released 24 hours later. I've been working on a Gouda using a mould by Lauda, and I think you would have seen that in the last live show. So that's the rough draft has been sent off to the sponsor of that video just for final approval, and then I'll finish it off and get that up hopefully on the 10th of May, which is next weekend. Kim bought a box of cheese from a Tasmanian dairy called Ashgrove Cheese. I think it's Ashgrove something. I should write that down in my notes better. But I'm going to do a cheese platter. Somebody requested a cheese platter back in Ask the Cheeseman 141. So I'll be doing that. And my next cheese recipe after the Microbial and the Gouda will be Persian feta, which is a marinated feta. So we're going to be doing that. Whew. So that's a big list of things to do, and thanks for all the financial members, as I mentioned. So let's have a look at who's on the chat, shall we? So shout out to Dominic. Thanks, Dominic. I'll get to your question in a minute, mate. Don't know if I know the answer, but I'll get to the question. Dinny55, Ambrose, g'day Ambrose. Hannah, hello Hannah. Who else we got? Chrissy, g'day Chrissy. Lovely to see you on this fine Sunday morning. Ruth, g'day Ruth. How are you? Manel, g'day Manel. Sean, g'day Sean. And I just saw that Sean became a patron, I think. I saw a little pop-up somewhere. But thank you, Sean, for your financial support. I think that's Druv. Hello, Druv. Sam, I'm an abomination. Great name. Monique, g'day Monique. Message retracted. Oh, I got another one down there. That's all right. Beefy Turtle. Del Clan. G'day Del Clan. Who else we got? Hacker. Hello, Hacker. Sadie. I can't remember how to pronounce that, but that'll do. Okay, Sadie, all the way from Istanbul in Turkey. And Greg and... Oh, curd nerd. We have a curd nerd too. Nice. Pro Blank. Sam. I think I've done Sam. Kim. Kim's here as well. Kim's our moderator today, my lovely wife. Nord Wars, Marco, and who else we got? Chloe, Cody, Lauren, somebody in Arabic, sorry I can't translate. Harper Tabber, Wendy, g'day Wendy. Where else? Jason, g'day Jason, lovely to see you here, mate. Charlie, g'day Charlie. Ryan, and that'll do. Oh, Curd Nerd, I changed my name. I'm now the Abomination Curd Nerd. Okay, cool. All right, and Del Clan, I spelled my own name wrong. Nice. All right, fantastic. So let's get the show on the road. How many people have we got on the stream? It says 60. That's fantastic for a Sunday. 64. My goodness, for this time of the morning. And it's a Saturday in the US and Saturday night in Europe and the UK. Nice. Coffee again. Okay, let's have a look. See what questions we got. Dominic says, good morning, Gavin. I have Thermoculture TCC 20. How much should I use for a 4-litre batch of mozzarella? It's the first I've ever heard of that culture, Dominic. I'm not sure where you got it from. Let's have a look. A Google search may be able to give our answer. If there is TCC for mozzarella, it's a UK. Oh, it's made by CHR Hansen. Okay, let's have a look. They're normally quite strong. Let's have a look. What cultures has it got on it? Oh, it's got Lactobacillus helveticus and Streptococcus thermophilus. So LH and ST. So very small. What I've used for 4 litres of milk, let me just think. So that's fairly strong. It'll be the same strength as Flora Danica by CHR Hansen. I would use 1/8 of a teaspoon, Dominic. So try that, mate. 1/8 of a teaspoon for 4 litres. Usually for 10 litres, I put in about 1/4 of a teaspoon using other CHR Hansen products. So try that. Dinny55 says, I have a Kefili that has been taken over by blue mould. I skewered it and left it to the blue. How long would you recommend to age it? Depends on how long it's already aged. I'd probably only go a month. You'd probably see some blue veining. But if it was taken over by blue mould, Kefili normally is a very mouldy cheese. As in it grows a lot of mould. So what you might want to do is, in the future anyway, is just keep wiping it with a saline solution, with a simple brine solution. That's 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of salt, and just keep washing it. I wash my Kefilis once every 2 days to keep the mould off. In fact, if you had seen a recent video, I actually had to shave a Kefili because there was so much geotrichum growth on it that it was covered in a white mould. But once I scraped that off, I could have wiped it off, I suppose. The cheese was perfectly fine underneath. It didn't need any, the geo didn't affect the flavour whatsoever, because usually the rind of the Kefili is very thick. And we're talking about 5 millimetres thick, which is half a centimetre, which I don't know in Imperial. But yeah, it's quite a thick rind, so very hard for moulds to penetrate it because it's heavily salted, as you know, during the process. So maybe next time you could have wiped that off. But like about a month, I reckon, if you want to make it into a blue cheese. I can't attest for the flavour. I've never tried it myself. Ambrose says, hey Gavin and Kim, hope you are well as can be. I'm currently making quark for the first time using a Mad Millie recipe and wanted to see if you've made quark before, but I couldn't find the video. No, we haven't got a video on quark. That is a good idea though. It's a very simple, easy cheese. Very similar to thick yogurt, but with a different culture. Doesn't use those tarty, tangy yogurt cultures. So, yeah, all good. Ambrose says, so I watched the Petite Blue again. Oh, okay. Nice. Thanks. Watch as many as you like, Ambrose. Hannah says, hey Gavin, love the kit. Thanks, Hannah. Hope it all works out for you. Ambrose also says, that is one cheese I want to make once I save up enough money for a cheese fridge slash cave. Yeah, look, I think, the Petite Blue, will that grow at 4 degrees? Probably not. It needs a little bit of higher temperature, like 13. You could probably make it over winter, depending on if you can find a cold place in your house, Ambrose. I remember the first Wensleydale that I ever made and waxed, I actually matured it in our linen press because that was one of the coldest parts of the house in winter, and turned out fantastic. I didn't have a cheese cave at all. I just waxed the cheese, put it in a really cool place in the house. Worked out fine. Hannah says, does cheese have a smell? Indeed it does. Smells cheesy. I can't go into it any more than that. Obviously different cheeses have different smells, and my Morbier that I've got in the cheese fridge at the moment, it smells a lot. It is one of those smelly sock cheeses that the flavour's amazing, but you have to, the smell, whew, it's incredible. Chrissy says, good morning. Is there a cheese like cheddar that doesn't need a press? I want to do a 10 litre batch, split it into 4 and flavour like wasabi and pepper, flip instead of pressing. I have 4 Camembert moulds. A cheese like cheddar? No, most of the cheddars need a press. However, there is a cheese that you could possibly do some of those funky things with, and I'm just spitballing here, which Australians don't use that term. I would try, what's it called? Bel Paese. It's a thermophilic style cheese, very similar to, well, it's like a milky Swiss. And it's entirely ripened in your kitchen fridge, and it doesn't need a press. It just forms under its own pressure. So in the Camembert moulds, it would probably work as well. It's about a 10 litre batch, I'm pretty sure. So Kim, if you can find the recipe to Bel Paese and throw it up for Chrissy, you could possibly do something with that, I think. A little bit of imagination, but yeah, use the recipe for Bel Paese. Fantastic cheese, tastes great. Like I said, doesn't need a press, and you can mature it in the kitchen fridge in a ripening box at 4 degrees Celsius. Ruth said, hi Gavin and Kim and world of curd nerds. Hope all are safe and well. Greetings from San Francisco, USA. I am trying to make a cheddar mano. Today, cross between a cheddar and a romano. First time for a two-handed stir, just in time for the chat. Well, when it turns out, Ruth, that would be very interesting to see. In fact, I have some pictures somewhere. Where did I put them? Ruth's pictures that she sent me. Somebody else sent me, but I couldn't find them. Where the heck is it? Pictures, Gav. Curd nerd pictures. All right, let's get these up on screen number 2. That's pretty small. Hang on, let's see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, there we go. So that's Ruth's, what was that? That was a Monterey Jack. Oh yeah, it says at the top. A Monterey Jack by Ruth Cunt. I love the mould. The mould is fantastic. I hope the cheese turns out really well too, Ruth. So that's a fantastic picture sent in by Ruth. We've got another one. Let's have a look, see if I can find that. Here it is. Here. Let's have a look. Screen. Wrong one. It hasn't finished yet. That is Ruth's wine marbled cheddar. That looks fantastic as well. So I'm very impressed by those cheeses. Well done, Ruth. Congratulations. Let's go back to the main camera. Okay, very cool. So there's some of the cheese submissions that we've had this week. Absolutely fantastic. Let me just have a look. There's one more thing I wanted to show everybody before we get on to some more questions. We've got a studio. I don't know if Kim might have told people a couple of chats ago. We're getting a studio built. It's part of our business for Little Green Workshops and Little Green Cheese. It'll have a storage room out the back. It'll have storage racks and stuff like that, so we can move some of the stuff out of our house. But it'll also have a studio in there, as in a studio to film stuff in, so we can do other things in our business, not only cheese making, but which I'll predominantly keep to the kitchen, but it'll have a studio for things like soap making, candle making, that sort of stuff. Anyway, it's actually going up at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, if I can stop this in a hurry. Whoop, stop. Right, hang on. Back to screen, whatever. Where are we? So here's a time lapse of yesterday's part of the build. Doesn't look like much going up. It's 27 seconds worth. So persevere with me. So they're putting in the mega anchors now into the ground. That's a big space we had cleared. So these are the footings for the building, and then they're putting in the main, I don't know, foundation thing, trying to get that all level or what have you. And this is the build so far. So I'm actually doing a time-lapse video of the entire build. So pretty cool, I reckon. And that'll go on to my, I think it'll go onto my vlog channel on the YouTube. So for those who want to see the build when it's finished, go over and subscribe to my vlog channel. I don't have the link unless Kim can find it. It's called Gavin Weber Vlog Kim. So if you can find the channel link, you go and check that out. So yeah, I'll be putting some more vlogs up there over the next few months. So that'll be cool. Right, anyway, back to questions. Yeah, let's have a look. I'm an abomination who's now called Curd Nerd says, yo, I told my dad about the Cheeseman last night whilst walking. Did he go, whoa, Cheeseman epic? He made fun of me. Hey, cheese is not funny. It's very serious business. He says Cheeseman sounds dumb. I got angry. And so you should. Very nice. Ruth says, just saying, just like kayaking in Konya, but I can't type. Huh? I'm not sure what that reference was to. Ruth says, lockdown is good for my affinage. Indeed it is. I've never paid more attention to my cheeses. Not that I've got a lot of time on my hands, because we're still running the business and it's still going crazy. So many people are buying, and I wish we had international shipping. We've got a Curd Nerd sign going off. Fantastic in the super chat, and that is from Ruth. Ruth says, my Jack you showed, that mould requires no cloth at all. Can you best that? This is one for your studio. Yes, I can best that. Wait until you see the Gouda video, Ruth, that's coming up in next weekend, because I have a mould that needs no cheesecloth either. It was sent to me for free, but yeah, it's still good. Thank you for your kind $20 super chat, Ruth. I really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I was saying about affinage. Yes. Yeah, I've never looked after my cheeses so well. Larry from Deep South Texas here. G'day, Larry. Lovely to see you, mate. Greg says, I just clicked on something by accident. Where am I? Yeah, in heaven. Yeah, indeed. Gavin Weber's stream. Same thing. Very nice. Beefy Turtle says, he makes cheese. It makes you laugh. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it's like Gavin Weber is our cheeses. Yes. Yeah, I suppose. Look, you guys said it, not me. Hannah Ruth says, do you wash the mat? Huh? Wash the mat? I don't understand what you're talking about. Nord Wars says, hey Gavin, I hope you are doing okay down in Aussie. Yeah, doing all right. Question, will mould ripened cheese continue to ripen after it has been cut in half to give a friend with the idea that they continue aging it? Mould ripened cheeses, if it's a blue cheese, yes, it will continue to ripen. You will continue to get, if it's a 13C or whatever the target temperature for that cheese is, then yes, it will continue to ripen. The paste probably, oh no, yeah, it should be right. As long as it's wrapped in foil or silver wrap, then yeah, you should be good to go. It'll continue to ripen at the right target temperature. If it's at 4 degrees, no chance. If it's a white mould cheese, no hope. You've breached the integrity of the rind. It won't ripen any further. In fact, it'll go so runny so quick, then you'll have no hope at all. So, hope that helps. Marco says, hey, I'm 13,000 kilometres away but still following, making interesting cheese, but don't get that much into, don't get that not much marvelling. Autocorrect maybe? Is it possible that due to the geometrical position, recipes and moisture are different? I have known cheeses to be affected by altitude. Atmospheric pressure is the only thing I can think of. Especially the temperatures that we use in cheese making will be different at different altitudes. Water boils at a lower temperature in a high altitude, high 90s instead of 100 Celsius. So depends on how high you are up. If you're at the top of the Swiss Alps, then yeah, probably the temperatures may be a bit different in the cheese recipes. Only thing I can think of. Del Clan, or is that Declan? We would be kind of being called curd nerds though. Yes, curd nerds. G'day, curd nerds. Who's that doggo? Where is the doggo? Holly, you get back here. Come on. Come on. Come on, quick. No doggo today. Sorry. But yeah, she normally sits on the back. Sadie says, yippee for more Gruyere. Indeed. It looks like a very interesting cheese. The colours are so funky. In fact, I can give the curd nerds a sneak peek. Can I find a more Gruyere picture that I've taken recently? Let's have a look. Some raw footage. All right, here we go. Over to screen number, that one. That is my Gruyere in all its glory. That's after quite a few washes. You can see it's gone orangey, pinky sort of colour, but you can definitely see, can you see, oh, there we go. There you can see my little cursor. You can see the line of ash through the centre there, and a little bit of ash spillage on top, but that's okay. But there's only one mould, and that's the red one. So very, very cool. That's the Gruyere, which will be released, fingers crossed, if I do a bit of work today, that'll be today, that'll come out. Right, oops, what's going on? I've got to get rid of that. Rightio, oh, curd nerd light's going off. Woohoo! It's all happening today. That's from Laura. G'day, Laura. Hey, Gavin, no questions this week for once. Hey, I'll answer them anytime, Laura. Just want to send all the positive vibes to you and Kim. Just made my second Yalesburg, your recipe, and excited for the results in 8 months' time. Very cool. Yes, Yalesburg is one of my more successful recipes. Not that I haven't had many successes, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Really do like the Yalesburg. Great eye formation for such a small cheese. It's very impressive. So well done. And thank you, Laura. And we've got another super chat, and the light's going off. Let's get that off before somebody has a fit. This one's from Jason. G'day, Jason. I think Hannah meant, do you wash the sushi mats and how? Oh, okay. I have a question later, but this one I would like to know as well. Thank you so much for your super chat, Jason. Very kind of you. Yes, all right. So if Hannah wanted to know how do you wash the sushi mats, so I wash them afterwards. I wash them in hot soapy water and scrub them with a little nail brush just to make sure I get all the bits off. And then what I do is then when I am preparing my, I'll let them dry, of course, and then put them away in a plastic Ziploc bag for later use, so no dust gets on them or anything like that. And then when I go to do my cheese making session, I will pop the sushi mats in with all the other equipment, so they steam and boil for 15 minutes, and they're fine. They don't melt. Well, they're bamboo. And they then are sanitised, and then I put them on the side that I've sanitised, ready for later on. So that's what I do and how I clean the sushi mats. And thanks, Jason, for amplifying, or sorry, not amplifying, what's the word? It doesn't matter, it's Sunday morning. Thanks for clarifying, is the word, clarifying Hannah's question. No problems at all. Okay, another question for Harper Tabor. I think that's how you say it. Hi, I made the Wensleydale with cranberries, dried it for 2 days, then covered it with wax and set it to mature. Now it's weeping a clear sticky fluid. Do I need to take the wax off and reward it? I don't know how you're going to reward it. You can always say thank you. Yes, I would. The clear sticky fluid is some of the sugars coming out of the cranberries. I've had it happen to myself when I did something similar. The cheese will be fine. So just take off the wax, give the cheese a quick brine, let it air dry for a day. It's obviously weeping more than just the clear sticky fluid. When it's air dried, just make sure that it is fully touch dry and starting to form a rind. That is a clear sign that it's time then to either vacuum pack or wax the cheese. A lot of people, I've had to wait up to 7 days before you get that little start to see the rind form on the cheese as it's air dried. So it's definitely got to be touch dried before you wax or vacuum pack it. But yeah, take it off, clean it up, and let it air dry a little bit longer, and then you can wax it. You may find that you will get some more fluid under in the wax, and look, that's fine. It's not a big issue. It doesn't affect the maturation. Wendy says, good morning, Gavin and Kim. My first live chat. Well, welcome, Wendy. Cody says, what's my favourite type of cheese? For those who have been on the chat for a long time, they know the answer. All the cheeses are my favourite cheeses. I have none that I particularly favour. I like to experience something new all the time. So, yeah, absolutely. Jason says, g'day Gavin, hope all is well. After 3 months, I finally decided to stop cleaning the Gruyere after 4 months. Sorry, frog in my throat. So much work, I decided to rub it with olive oil for the next 2. Good idea or not? I don't think I do olive oil. It's not a hard cheese like Parmesan or Romano, which tend to like the olive oil better. Look, if you really want to, and an easy out is to vacuum pack the Gruyere. I think that's what I did. Oh, did I? Can't remember. Such a long time ago. Yeah, look, vacuum packing would work better than olive oil because you're introducing another flavour into the Gruyere that it normally doesn't have. Once it's gone brown, which it usually does, the Gruyere, then you can stop washing it and just brush it instead. You don't need to wash it because most of the surface moulds won't be wet. The surface dries out. And you'll find that they just brush off with a cloth. That's certainly what I did with my Gruyere. I hope that helps, Jason. Charlie says, hi Gavin, would the linens culture affect other cheeses if I use the same brine for others, or would I need to reheat the brine to kill the bacteria? But Brevi bacterial linens likes salt, likes salty stuff. So if you've recently done a Brevi bacterial linens cheese and you've brined it, I tend to boil the brine again. Just when you start your cheese making session and you know you've got to brine something, so I just boil the brine. It may smell a bit because it tends to. You can keep it for a long time, brine, which is a great thing. But yeah, boil it, strain it through a little bit of butter muslin. And then let it cool down again. And then it'll be right for the cheese by the end of your session. And that way it'll kill any bacteria or moulds especially, which is Brevi bacterial linens, that may proliferate over your new cheese that you're going to brine. So yeah, when in doubt, if you see mould floating on the top of your brine, then get rid of it, obviously, because it does grow. And then sterilise your brine, so boil it for about 5 minutes, no more, because you can get too much evaporation, and top it up with some fresh non-chlorinated water. Lauren says, hi from Ireland. Oh, hello Lauren, lovely to see you up so late. Ryan says, I've just missed his question. Where's Ryan? Got to be here somewhere. Goodness me. Goodness me. Oh, Ryan, there we are. Yeah, the chat box. When I scroll a little bit, it likes to scroll off. Ryan says, why don't you take off your wedding ring off when using your hands to mix curds? Because it's my cheese and I don't have to. And it's my dedication to my wife. So I'm not taking it off for anybody's business. I scrub my hands thoroughly before anything I do with cheese. Andrew says, made your Yalesburg. When I opened the cheese, it had some very small eyes and a large crack in the middle. The flavour was mild, but definitely not developed. Is there a way to save it? Not since you've cracked it open. No, there is not. Next time, there's always a next time. Leave it at the warm period. You know, the period where you leave it at room temperature. And make sure that you see a bulge top and bottom. That's a good indication that the eyes are forming properly. The propionic shamani needs a higher temperature, around 18 degrees Celsius, for it to start to develop the CO2 and make the paste of the cheese less viscous, so it will expand and be able to create those lovely eyes that you see in the cheese. Sometimes it's the size of the cheese. There's nothing we can do about it. You won't get big eyes like you see in normal authentic Yalesburg because they are massive wheels of cheese. There's more volume, more room for the propionic shamani to do its stuff and create the CO2. Smaller wheels, you're going to get smaller eyes. That's all there is to it. If you've got a crack in the middle, sounds like there may have been an issue. I find sometimes and I found this in the early days when I didn't know any better, that I think Yalesburg is a washed curd cheese, pretty sure, that if you wash the curds during that process, if you wash it with chlorinated water, you tend to get a crack in the middle. If you wash it with non-chlorinated water, you don't get any cracking. Also, it can be dependent on the milk. It could be infected by a bacteria which is called... can't remember, and it actually produces that cracking. And we've got another curd nerdy thing going on here. Let me just kill the light. This is from Nord Wars. Thanks very much for your kind super chat. Just got a new cheese fridge for maturation. Would blue mold spread around the fridge and infect it? Can you age blue with other types of cheese? Yeah, blue mold will go on the walls of your cheese fridge and stay there until you wipe them off. I would use a maturation box, and you've probably seen a maturation box in many of my videos. Let me just think, do I have a picture? Yes, I do have a picture of a maturation box. 1 second. Here we go. Hang on, over to the big screen. So there's a maturation box. See this one here where my cursor is moving around. So it's just a normal plastic box with a mat in it, and you can see the lid up there on my onion basket. And you pop your cheese in there. Do I get to pop the cheese in there eventually? Yeah, there's the Morbier. So the cheese goes in there. Put the lid on, and if this was a blue cheese, for instance, then basically, back to me. Basically, you would keep the lid on, and it stops the mold from spreading throughout your cheese cave. So use a ripening box to ripen your mold-ripened cheeses. A lot of show and tell today, isn't there? But thank you for your kind super chat. Hopefully that answers your question. Alrighty. Yeah, where are we? It's Saturday. Oh, I've only got to 8:06 in my questions. My goodness, and what time is it? 8:34. The show's nearly over and I haven't even got past the first 10 minutes. Oh, goodness me. Thumbs up. What's that? Thumbs up, Ruth? I love the thumbs up. Yeah, if you like the show, give it a like. We've got 57 likes and 76 viewers. If you haven't given it a thumbs up, if you like the show, of course, then yeah, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, no, John, he's obviously late to the show today, Ruth. Sam says, I'm thinking about starting to make cheese and was wondering what would be the best starter cheese, as in the best one to start with, I think. Kim's got a list, and I think she may have already put the list up there. Yes, says starter cheese, whey ricotta, and then she's got some other ones there. So hopefully you've got your answer there, Sam. Lactobacillus Prime, good evening. Hope you're all doing well. Indeed we are. Manel says, why isn't the last episode 141 there isn't a chat with the video? Oh, don't know, mate. I'll have to have a look. But there's nothing I can do about it. That's YouTube's decision. The chat may be down below. If you got it in cinematic mode, where's the camera? Right, there's the camera. If you got it in cinematic mode on YouTube, then the chat is right down the bottom. So you may just have a look at that. Not sure, mate. If you're looking at a mobile, then you probably would have a problem as well. Ruth says, the buttermilk blue with the weird spongy curd came out delicious. Everybody loves it. Yeah, it's one of those amazing cheeses that I really didn't think was going to work out, but my goodness, it just tasted one of the best blues I've ever tasted. So creamy and rich and not so strong with the blue flavour, but if Kim hasn't already put the link up to the buttermilk blue, then can you please do that, love? Because it's one recipe I love to share, even though it seemed to not work out so well at the start. My goodness, did I get a large cheese and a lot of yield and a very, very nice blue. If you're into blues, then definitely give buttermilk blue a try for sure. Lorenzo says, this isn't exactly specific to home cheese making, but before the creation of commercial cultures... Oh, hang on, another super chat halfway through. I'll just finish this one off before we get the super chat. Creation of commercial cultures, how were the cultures from specific types of cheese conserved from one batch to the other? Quick answer, usually they use the whey, transfer the whey from the old cheese back into the new cheese, and that's how they get the starter cultures. Another way is that when they use raw milk, all of the lactobacteria is already present in the milk. And it's destroyed if you pasteurise it, because that's what we do these days. But the raw milk, no problems at all. The culture's already there, so you didn't have to use anything fancy. Anyway, Iwa says, how big a hole do you have to drill if I make it bigger mould from a small bucket? I want to probably only do a few millimetres. So the smallest drill bit you've got, Iwa, is what I would do if I was converting a plastic bucket into a cheese mould. The smaller the holes, the better, and the more holes, the better, if that makes sense. Because you don't want the holes too big, because the curds will come out. Remembering that you should use a cheesecloth within that small bucket. But yeah, small holes and many small holes, but keep the bucket integrity there, of course. Hope that helps, mate. But thank you for your kind super chat. Yeah, so back to Lorenzo's question. Yeah, the starter cultures are present in the milk already, so yeah, you don't have an issue. So if you're using raw milk, then you probably don't. And it says, but I'll start again. If you're using raw milk and you're trying to make a cheese, then you use a lot less starter culture if you're going to use DVI starter culture, because there are lots of bacteria in the milk already. Zachary says, what's the cheesiest cheese? Don't know the answer to that question. It's a good one though. Andrew says, a lot of recipes say air dry at room temperature of 21 Celsius. How do we achieve this in a cold climate, or will it take longer to dry out? Yeah, look, it's just an arbitrary number, 21 Celsius. In winter, it's about 18 degrees in our kitchen. Even with all the double glazing and everything, we don't normally have the heater on. So it does take a bit longer to air dry. In summer, it's sometimes 25, maybe 30, oh, not 30, 25 degrees, 26 maybe inside, because we do have double glazing and really good insulation here. It takes less time to air dry. So as long as the cheese, when you touch it, with clean hands, of course, it feels dry or it feels like a clammy handshake, if that makes sense. Then it's ready to, and you just see a slight discoloration of the rind. Not too much, because that means it's going to dry out too quickly and crack. Not too much. You'll see it happen as you do it, but you'll see it start to dry out, and and then it's time to wax or vacuum pack, if that's what needs to happen with the cheese. Okay. Herb says, woohoo, made it. G'day, Gavin and Kim. G'day, Herb. Lovely to see you. Chrissy says, thank you, Ruth and Gavin, for this link. Indeed. Declan says, when it finish early. When it finish early. No, don't understand the context of that one. Emanuela, I think that's how you say it. Greetings from Brazil. Hope you are doing well. Thanks. Yes, we are. Thanks, Kim. I said sorry, Ruth. All right. Okay. Alexander says, Are you aware you are a meme, Cheeseman? Indeed, I am. I know of the meme. It was done by a guy called Joe on Twitter and went viral, and I gained 40,000 subscribers because of the meme. Indeed. In fact, what are we up to now? 216,000. Before the meme came out, and everybody went looking for the Parmesan cheese video, I think I was at 172,000, and over a month or so, it's grown crazy. It's just crazy. Ian says, congratulations on the expansion. No problems at all. Yeah, it's going to be a great space. Man cave, woman cave, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, all good. Kim's put up the vlog channel. Thank you, Kim. Moot Dankinson says, why do Italians hate you? They don't particularly hate me personally. I know a lot of lovely Italian people. It's just they don't appreciate things when I call their cheeses, when I make their cheeses, and they don't think they're authentic. It's just all there is to it, really. Other than that, they do love me. I'm pretty sure they do anyway. Lactobacillus Prime says, looking forward to the Gouda video. Indeed, it is a beauty, I tell you. Do you want a sneak peek? Let's see if I can find it. Sneak peek on the Gouda. I have a picture. I'm sure I have a picture. I have a good picture somewhere. Where are we? Gav, show the picture of the finished cheese. Oh, there we go. Is that going to work? Oh, that didn't work. Okay, right. So screen number 2. There's a picture of my Gouda using the Lauda mould. It's a bit wonky because my camera wasn't straight, but that is my Gouda. That's fresh out of the brine, I think. That's why it looks a little bit damp. But it's in the wax now. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's one to look forward to. I have done a Gouda video previously, but I'm exceptionally proud of this one because, yeah, I tell you what, a lot of mucking around to get it pressed because I didn't have the right press for the mould. But, yeah, she turned out like a beauty. I really like it. Ior says, oh crud, I'm going to miss this one because I'm making beer on an open wood fire. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Well done. But yeah, sorry you're missing the show. Ruth says, Super Chat dollars is for your studio. Oh, thank you, Ruth. I really appreciate it. Nate says, Gavin is the king. I'm humbled by your statement. Thanks, mate. Ambrose says, thanks for the suggestion, but being British in winter, my mum insists on turning the temperature up so high that when you come in, you're hit by a wall of heat. You know, funny, yes, I know what you mean, Ambrose. Kim's not one of those, she's English, from Southampton. She likes the cold, as in cold inside, and so do I. I'm quite partial to that. Even in winter, I don't like the heater on really high. I remember we went over one Christmas to visit Kim's relatives, and everywhere we went, you know, you're wearing these really thick, heavy coats. Everywhere we went, you go inside, and it's like 30 degrees. The heating's like so high. Anyway, that aside, yes, I know exactly what you mean. So, yeah, you wouldn't have your linen closet happening there for your cheese. Herb says, big question. Tried for months to find your ripening boxes. What company makes them? Oh, good question. They're made by Decor Australia. Only made in Australia. We've just run out of them in our shop, Herb. But what you can do, I've got some on order. They usually take about 2-3 weeks to get in. So Kim, you can pop up the link to the product page for the red ripening box for herb. And hopefully we'll start shipping again once Australia Post get their act together and start picking up from our business again. They stopped it during the initial part of the quarantine. Don't know why. Apparently they want to protect their drivers yet. They're still dropping off parcels, just not picking up. Crazy times. Nordwar says, thanks for the answer. I'm literally cutting the curds in my feta right now. Have a great Sunday. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Manel says, can make cheese with milk that has 3% fat. Yes, indeed, you can. And you'll get less yield, but it'll still be a fairly good cheese, Manel. So give it a go. Iwa says, okay, we answered that via Super Chat. Gotcha says, cannabis-infused pepper jack. Now, that would be pretty cool, but it's still illegal here, so I can't. Wendy says, we're making kefili or parmesan and sitting them on a sushi mat. They remain wet underneath. Am I doing something wrong? Should I wipe them dry when turning? No, it'll take a while. The sushi mats do give a little bit of air. Maybe prop them up on something. Put 2 sushi mats underneath them, and you'll find you'll get better airflow. But yeah, you've got to turn them every 6 hours or so, and that definitely helps. But the sushi mats tend to wick the moisture away from the cheese, but eventually they'll dry out. But no, you're not doing anything wrong. It could be part of the cheese making process where there might be too much whey left in the cheese. But with Parmesan, I find that hard to believe. The curd size should be fairly small. And the whey, most of the whey expelled. So no, you're not doing anything wrong. They just stay wet or moist. So what you could do is swap out your sushi mats every day. That's a good suggestion. You should have a few. They're fairly cheap at the supermarket. You can buy them there. You can buy them in our shop. We've got heaps of them. But yeah, Wendy, swap them out every day for a fresh one. Easy peasy. Okay, John says, hi mate, I've never done any cheese before, just landed on your YouTube channel yesterday and subscribed. What's the first cheese I should start with? Kim's put a link, John, into a whole bunch of beginners cheeses. In fact, Kim, can you put the link up for the beginners cheeses with no cheese fridge? And that'll be good for John. John also, John Law, different John. This is John from San Francisco. Yep, I'm late. Windows no longer gives me alerts to YouTube sub notices. Sorry, mate. Not my fault, but I don't run Windows. Thumbs up, people. Thumbs up. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Okay. And my chat box, once again, skipped 20,000 ahead. Lucky I found it. Sean said to Ruth, where do you get that mould from? I think you're talking about the Manchego. I think it's a Manchego mould, actually. Tor. I think that's how you say it. How often should I scrape mould off the cheese? Depends on which cheese you're making. If it's a non-blue cheese, then yeah, you should get rid of it as quick as you can. If it's a blue cheese, then yeah, you should keep it on there until you're ready to wrap it. Okay. Hannah says, do you wash the cheese mat? Oh, okay, we already answered that one. Danielle says, can your Bel Paese recipe be vac-packed, waxed, and put in the cheese cave at 55 instead of the fridge? I have a cheese cave now, so have the option. Never tried it. Always matured it in the fridge. I think you would get a totally different flavour if you matured it at 55 Fahrenheit or 13 Celsius. You get a lot more lactic bacteria development. The flavour would be more acidic, so it wouldn't be Bel Paese anymore. You would have invented a new cheese. So that's pretty cool. David says, any difference between wax and vac packing for Yalesburg? We've just put the first one into the brine. Indeed, if you vacuum pack the Yalesburg, you will find that you will get a lot less eye development because there's always constant pressure on the outside of the cheese, the exterior rind. If you wax it, it's just like a bubble. The Yalesburg has room to expand during the warm period. Or what you can do is you can not wax the Yalesburg during the warm period. You may get some splitting though, which is of concern. So I tend to wax it, and if it does split, then I re-wax it. It's no big deal. Vacuum packing, like I said, tends to inhibit the eye formation of the cheese. Okay, Victor says, hello from Richmond, Virginia. I'm working on a COVID unit. When we are in a COVID unit, we are watching and enjoying your channel. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. And big shout out to all of the frontline workers in hospitals that are protecting people and trying to save their lives. Hats off to all of you guys and girls for doing such a fantastic job for so long. I really do appreciate all the things that you're doing to save lives. Okay. Siraj says, hi Gavin. Hi Siraj. Victor, hello. Yes. Where else we got there? Herbert says, I've been married for 30 years and I've not taken my ring off yet. Good on you, Herbert. And mate, I hope your cheese making's going well over there in the US. Charlie says, can you use ordinary boiled then cooled water for brine, or does it have to be filtered shop bought water? Mate, it can be rainwater if you've got a rainwater tank, or I don't know what you call cistern or whatever. Yeah, rainwater works fine. It depends on how they chlorinate your water these days, because it used to be just normal chlorine, like swimming pool chlorine, but they don't use that anymore. They use a different type of chlorine that doesn't evaporate when you boil it. I know they do in our area anyway. So yeah, that may be a bit of an issue. So you can't really use ordinary tap water, boil it, because the chlorine doesn't disseminate from it anymore. What I do is I use 10 litre casks of, it's called Pura water by Noble. It's $8 for 10 litres. No, it's a bit expensive, but I've had nothing but success when using it, especially when using it for washing the curds of Dutch style cheeses, like the Gouda, of course, and Yalesburg and stuff like that. I know Yalesburg's Norwegian, but yeah, nothing but success using non-chlorinated water. Or get yourself a filter, like a Brita filter, you know, one of those jugs. It's got a carbon filter capsule thing in it, and that'll get rid of fluoride and chlorine and any heavy metals and all that sort of stuff. And that's perfect for cheese making as well. Victor, is Victor? We already talked about Victor. Victor's in the COVID unit. Very cool. Thick, I think that says, can I buy some cheese from you? No, unfortunately not. You can't buy any cheese from me because I'm not a licensed cheesemaker. I'm just a home cheesemaker that likes to share. Only make it. Medieval Knievel, cool name. Greetings, Gavin and Kim from Manchester in the UK. Have you ever made mother cultures for your cheese making, or do you always use commercial starter cultures? Yeah, I only use commercial ones. I think the other ones are a little bit, well, not hit and miss. They've been used for many, many years. But yeah, I prefer to use the DVI, direct vat inoculated cultures. Don't have any issues with them.
You can run it to 9:30 if you want to.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Kim said she's given us an extension because she's feeling okay. So we're going to run for another half an hour, or a bit more than half an hour, through to 9:30. So excellent work. Thanks, darling. By the time she gets down to the other end of the room, she'll hear it on the delayed telecast. Wendy says, do you leave the vent in the maturation box closed? Yes, I do, because I find that if I leave the little vent and the lid open, then it gets infected by other molds, or it infects other cheeses. If I've got any trying to form a natural rind in the cheese fridge. So yeah, I always leave it closed. And the reason I do that is because when I do mature those cheeses in the ripening box, every 2 days I'll pull the cheese out and let the air circulate around it, out of the cheese box, clean the box out, make sure it's all clean and free from molds on the surface of the box. And that way it gets enough oxygen to develop whatever it's developing. Depends on the style of cheese. But most of them need a little bit of oxygen. The mold ripened ones I'm talking about. The semi-hard and hard ones that you wax and vacuum pack. Pardon me. It's a bit of a piggy. A bit of a perp, sorry. Don't need oxygen to develop the semi-hard and harder cheeses. Okay. Looks like we've got lots of naughty people that Kim's deleting stuff from. So well done, Kim. Love your skills. Manel said, I sent a super chat, but you didn't show what happened. I didn't see anything, mate. Hang on, let me see if I can see. Manel, $5, and that came from somewhere. Okay, if you did it by the PayPal thingy, you wouldn't have seen it. You might have come up on the screen up here, which I didn't see because I'm not watching the screen. But yeah, sorry, Manel. It looks like a PayPal donation has come through. I appreciate your super chat. Sorry, mate. Didn't see that one. Why the last episode 141 was in the chat in the video. That's all I can see on this. Yeah, sorry about that, mate. But I do appreciate your kind super chat via Patreon. Alrighty, let's move on there. Sorry about that. I have no friends. No, not me, but the person's name is that. I'm currently dressed as Scooby-Doo and wanted to just say that I have no interest in... What? Although I have no interest in cheese making, I still love your video. Thanks, Scooby-Doo. Appreciate that. Kim says, fair amount of trolls. Kim's on it. That's what I like. Great to see. Herbert says, the dog is black. Oh, she's back on the chair. Hang on, let's go to camera 2. There's the doggo. Holly, are you awake? Holly? Holly, you awake? There she is. There's the cheese dog. She's not black. She's grey-ish. Bit like my beard. Very cool. Jason says, speaking of cheesiest cheeses, does Manchego usually smell so strong after brining? Yeah, Manchego is one of those cheeses that has a very strong odour. Probably not so much after brining, but as it matures it certainly does, because if you made it with cow's milk and we've added all those cultures plus lipase, yeah, it tends to be one of those smellier sort of hard cheeses, if that makes sense. If it's made with goat's milk, it doesn't smell as much. It's a lot drier than when you made it with cow's milk. Anyway, Victor says, can you sub or use the buttermilk for culture? Yeah, you can. Buttermilk tends, the cultured buttermilk, of course, not buttermilk from butter. Cultured buttermilk tends to have, be cultured with aromatic mesophilic starter culture. So if you've got a cheese that you want to make with an aromatic mesophilic, usually it'll have more gas development, but it'll have a more buttery flavour. You can use buttermilk for that. Harriet says, greetings from Manitoba. Greetings, Harriet. Jonathan says, there was another meme. Oh, okay. I didn't realise there was 2 memes about cheese. But, yeah, cool. Dean says, hi, I love your book. Thanks, Dean. Appreciate the feedback. Speaking of books, I haven't done any work on the second one yet either. Yeah, running the business when Kim's not well is difficult work, I'm telling you now. But the good thing is our son Ben, who you've probably never seen on the stream, is now working just about full time to backfill for Kim when she's not well. But Kim's doing little things in the background, helping me restock things, and she's been packing orders lately because she's starting to feel quite well after a few days of her chemotherapy, so that's really good. And she's, in fact, one day, I think, what was it, Easter Monday, we had to work because we had something like nearly 60 orders to process. People just love the stuff, love the cheese and the soap and the candles and bath bombs and all that. And she helped me. We set up another little packing station and we got through 56 of the orders in 8 hours. I couldn't believe it. That's a record for us. So thank you, Kim, for all your help in the shop. I really do appreciate it, love. When you can, when you're feeling okay to do stuff, but when you're not, mate, don't worry about it. We're covering it. So, coolio. Now, where did I get to? There was a question about Kasu Marzu. No. Oh, John said maybe they're looking for their cheeses. Nice. Alorza, I think that's how you say it. Yes, I made it. Yes, you did indeed. And we've still got 30 minutes to go. Very cool. Jonathan says there's going to be a lot more people coming. Thanks, Jonathan. That's in the other meme. I don't know if there's a picture or anything. I haven't seen this other meme. But yeah, if you can share it with me, there's an email address somewhere. Email address in the About tab of the channel. You can share with me, Jonathan. That would be lovely. Dean says, are your t-shirts available in the US? Oh, hang on. Is my t-shirt straight? I have a t-shirt on at the moment. Get my belly out the way. Make cheese, not war. Yes, they are. If you go and have a look, you see Kim's put the link there to the Teespring store. And it's down in the... should be a merch shelf down the bottom as well. So you should be able to see that. What's the next question? Victor says, are any future videos for a Portuguese flamingo cheese? Never heard of it, but... Flamengo. No. Never heard of it, but I'll have a look. Are you taking the piss out of me, you guys, or what? I'll have a look. Sounds like a bird to me. It's a Portuguese Dutch Edam. Well, there you go. Don't worry about it then. Got another super chat going on up here. Let's kill the light before Holly goes into spasms. Chrissy, thank you, Chrissy, for your kind super chat. I have Camembert 10 days old. Still not a lot of white mould. Should I leave it for a few more days before wrapping? I also have fingerprints on the cheese where I turned it. Is that an issue? Not usually. It just means you've dampened the mould down a little bit. Yeah, really you should have a complete coverage, Chrissy, before you wrap them. It works a lot better that way. So maybe wait for a few more days. I've waited up to 14, no problems at all. 10 days is not arbitrary. It's just when you've got a complete coating of mould all over the cheese. And then if you get past 14 days and there's still no full coating, wrap them anyway. The cheese will still turn out all right and still taste divine. But yeah, thank you so much for your kind super chat, Chrissy. I really appreciate it. Okay. Anyways, talking about the flamingo cheese. Okay, I will look it up. We'll look it up. Chloe says, what started your cheese making journey? Have you always been passionate about cooking or solely cheeses? Yeah, I love cooking, Chloe. I do. So yeah, when I was, where's the story start? As far as cooking goes, because I was in the Navy, you don't do much cooking. That's why you have chefs for, and naval cooks, and they do all the cooking for you. So I always wanted to do my own cooking. So when I got ashore and got married for the first time, not to Kim, to somebody else, I tried to do a bit of cooking and learnt myself, reading cookbooks and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm into cooking. I share the cooking with Kim. So we make our own dinners, all that sort of stuff, as you do. But then as far as cheese making goes, that kind of started because I wanted to know what went into things. So we started growing our own vegetables, got chickens to get our own eggs, and got a very large vegetable patch, and we grow a fair bit of our own food. Yeah, so I wanted to make more things, so we preserved our vegetables and stuff like that, made our own bread. And I wanted to make cheese, so I went on a cheese making course back in 2009. I did 2 courses. I did a hard cheese course and a mould course. So we made, first cheese I ever made was feta, Didn't turn out as good as I thought it would be, but it was feta nonetheless. Gav style feta. And a blue cheese I made a Stilton, which turned out quite well. And from there I was hooked on cheese making and just kept making cheese every weekend until I got experienced enough and knew what was good and what was bad. Read tons of books. And then at one stage I thought, well, hang on, there's no video resources on how to make cheese. So it's one of the reasons I made the channel. And the rest is history, I suppose. But yeah, great question. Thanks, Chloe. My chat has skipped ahead 50,000 pages. Right, there we go. Back to the thing. Herbert says, Rubbermaid also make them. Yes, Rubbermaid, which is a company in the US, I think. Kim's put the link up to the ripening box as I requested before. Thank you, Kimmy. Alan says, hi, while I was making Shropshire Blue, I unintentionally used thermophilic culture instead of mesophilic. Does that make a big difference? Yeah, it would. One's got a thermo in front of it, one's got a meso in front of it. So thermophilic likes high temperatures and it tends to shrink your curds a lot more. And you may have found that during your cheese making. The flavours will be different too, totally because of the different lactic bacteria that you've used. So the flavour won't be in the tradition of Shropshire Blue or how do I say that? Shropshire, I think that's how you say it. Shropshire Blue, but yeah, it will make a big difference. So the flavour will be totally different and probably the structure of the cheese as well. Herb says, awesome, thank you for the box info. Hopefully the international shipping is straightened out. Yeah, indeed. We're hoping that it's going to be fixed soon. I'm going to check again on Monday to see if they've lifted their ban on picking up orders from here. If so, then we can start international. I'll announce it on the channel via the community page, on all the Facebooks and the Twitters and all that sort of stuff. So I'll announce the whole lot. Yeah, we can get the shipping going again. Where are we up to? Wyatt says, I've never made cheese before, but I have some interest in trying it. What would you recommend for a first timer? Wyatt, have a look at that link that Kim put up above your comment and you should be set. Should be no problems at all. You've got lots of cheeses to choose from. Jay says, hi Gavin and Kim, could you tell me where you picked up the red brining bowl? Yeah, it's actually made by Dacor as well. It's a rice cooker, microwave rice cooker. However, the little mat thing that you see that I put on top of the cheese, that's from a different container. So, yeah, the bowl itself is a rice cooker that doesn't have a little mat thing on top. So I got it from a separate thing. So, yeah, you'd have to source something. But really, as far as a brining container goes, it doesn't have to be the same one that I use. If you've seen some of the cheeses, the bigger cheeses that I've made that don't fit in that brining container, then I just simply use a stainless steel pot, make up a brine solution, double the amount, of course, and then because the cheese floats, you're not brining the top surface, so you just sprinkle some salt on top of the cheese, on the surface of the cheese, just a fine sprinkle of salt on the top, and then make sure at the halfway mark of the brining period that you flip the cheese over and then just resalt the top again. You'll find that it'll absorb enough salt, no problems at all. You don't need the same brining container I've got. Okay. Purple Smiley Monster says, prayers, Kim. I think that's because I mentioned the C word. But yeah, indeed. Ior says, the beer is done boiling. What did I miss? Lots. There was lots of people that Kim kicked out. I tell you what, Ior, it was just crazy. Mariah says, I just want to find the angry Italians in the comments, but I can't find any. Well, if you go to the Parmesan video, Mariah, then you will have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the comments, and there's like, I don't know, 20,000 comments or something. I don't know, many comments on that cheese. And you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom where before the meme started, because after that, everybody went over then says, where's the angry Italians at? So there you go. Manel says, is it illegal on Australia if I'm having the mould on the cheese, can you eat? No, it's not illegal to eat it. You can eat it if you want. Yeah, can't see why you wouldn't eat the mould on the cheese if you wanted to. Victor says the Dollar Tree has something similar. I know, yeah, that's a shop over there. Yeah. So all you need is just that plastic tub with a raised mat in it, because you don't want the cheese swimming in its own whey or moisture that it's weeping. Jesse says, tips for scaling down cheese recipes. Yeah, indeed. You do some division is what I do. The tips, so you use the milk as the reference number. If the recipe is too large, then you divide it and then multiply by the number of the milk. So like, for instance, if the recipe is 16 litres, which most of the one from the 200 Easy Cheese Making Cheeses by Deborah Amram Boys, which is a book, all the recipes are 16 litres, and I make them 10 because that's what I can fit in my mould, and most people prefer a smaller cheese. So I divide the 16 and then times it by 10, and then I get how many, then I get the fraction that I need to divide all the rest of the ingredients, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm sure somebody's got an Excel spreadsheet that does a lot better than I do. Anyway, Victor says Merlot cheese or Syrah. Yeah, you can. I've done one. If Kimmy, if you can find the link to the what's it called? Ubraccio Formaggio. Yeah, that's it. The Italian wine soaked cheese for Victor, and I think they'd enjoy that. Gio says 2 a.m. in Greece, unfair for me. I'm sorry, mate. It's just the way the planet works. It's got time zones and stuff. There's not much you can do about it. Jim says, love your work, Gavin. Thank you, mate. Dean says, glad you were feeling good, Kim. Yeah, she's not too bad, young Kim. Doing quite well. Ruth says, yay, Kim. So glad you were feeling okay to keep going today. Hope you are feeling better and better. Yep, she's only got 3 chemo sessions to go on this stuff called Taxol, which is not as bad as the original stuff she was on. And then just after that, it's a targeted therapy called Herceptin, which she has to keep going until every 3 weeks until February next year, 2021. So, yeah, she'll get through it. She's got a heart of gold, that woman. I love her to bits. John says, boiling beer. I prefer to drink mine and eat cheese or make beer cheese soup. And that will get you dizzy. Nice one, John. You're a comedian. Agamemnon, I think that's how you say it. How do you keep at specific temperature during ripening, or do you keep the heat off? When I bring the milk up to the target temperature, before I add the starter cultures, once I bring the milk to the target temperature, I add the starter cultures, I turn off the heat completely, don't have any heat on at all. The milk holds its temperature quite well during that, hour and a half to 45 minute to hour and a half ripening period. Denise says, any special suggestions when you use a mix of goat or cow's milk? No, not really. Maybe use a little bit less. A little bit less or a little bit more. With goat's milk, use a little bit more rennet. Let me think. Yeah. Because it's got a very fine structure to it, and it tends to not set as well. So that's the only thing I think of. But yeah, you'll get a different flavour profile totally, because goat's milk has a lot more lipase within it and tastes a lot stronger. John says, good on you, Kim. Thumbs up. Indeed. Wendy says, thank you for all your help, Gavin and Kim. I love making your cheeses. Thank you very much, Wendy. And Hannah says, my mum and I will be making the double cream brie with my mum. Will I get the kit ready with my mum? Will I get the kit ready? Well, I hope you have fun making your double cream brie. It's a delicious cheese. John Moran says, I really like your videos. Keep going. Indeed, there are lots of that. Ruth says, the best part of lockdown is I can come to the chat. Indeed. Well, we moved it to weekends, so it kind of works a lot better for a lot of people as well. Plus, Wednesday is chemo day. I think we'll stick to weekends. It works better for us too. The best part of the brightest spot in the week. Thank you, Gavin and Kim. Thank you all. A new spin on social distancing. Indeed, it is very cool. Manel says, you are very kind. And King Cheeseman. Thank you, Manel. No, I appreciate your super chat. Sorry I missed that one, mate. It's because I can't hear what's going on in the chat. I'm just having to wing it and look at my levels. I can't see the super chats as they come up here, wherever it is. I'm looking there, but I'm looking there. I don't always see it. Anyway, Adam says, love your work. I'm currently making a Camembert type cheese with my dairy goat's milk. Oh, that'll taste very nice. Well done, Adam. Billy, hi Gavin and Kim. Great to see you again. Keep up the good work. Offbeat, strange question. Are your eyes two different colours? Indeed they are. I've got what's known as heterochromia. One eye is blue, or mostly blue, and the other one is green, or hazel green, I think. But yes, if I take the glasses off, you probably see a bit better. Yes, I have two different coloured eyes. Strange person, and I'm left-handed, so yeah, it's all strange. Works for me though. But I can still see the same. It's all the same. Don't worry about that. Daniel says, read my earlier question about Lipase. Can I vac pack or wax and then put them in the fridge? I only have one container I can use, so I wanted to see if that can be used for other cheeses. Daniel, the Lipase does weep a lot. Get a lot of moisture coming out of it, so I'm afraid if you vacuum packed it, then you would probably have a bit of moisture build up within the vacuum packing itself. So maybe not. But hey, who am I to put a dampener on it? Give it a go. I certainly wouldn't wax it because you'll just get a build up of moisture in there. At least with vac packing, you'll be able to see the moisture and cut it open a little bit, drain it off, and then re-vacuum pack it. So anyway, Victor says, our pleasure. Thanks for the shout out. No problems at all, Victor. You guys do a great job. Alrighty. Billy says, great info with regard to water quality and chlorine levels. That's why we love your honesty and knowledge. Thanks, Billy. Appreciate it, mate. Nikki says, I've made some Gabletero cheese and it's been sitting for 14 days. Do you think it's okay? Well, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of that cheese. You sure you guys aren't making these names up? I don't know if it's all right. I've never made it. So, yeah, that's a new one to me. Hopefully it's all right. You tell me. Sorry about that. Brett says, hello, Brett. First time in the chat. You probably get this question a ton. I just found your channel and was wondering what you recommend as somebody's first cheese. Kim's just put the a few beginners cheeses there for you, Brett. Hopefully it works. Kim says, yes, Gavin does have two different coloured eyes. It's called Heterochromia iridium. Yeah, that was the full name. I only had the partial name. It's very nice. Kim likes it. Brett says, thanks very much. I look forward to the journey. Yeah, Kimmy's throwing links at people. It's so good. Gavin says, nice name. Thanks, Gavin. Appreciate it. XPFC Wintergreen says, Godspeed and good cheese to Kim and Gavin and all the curd nerds worldwide. Thanks, mate. Pablo, I think I said, yeah, Pablo. Gavin, I only have thermophilic culture. What cheese can I make with just that one culture? You can make Romano, Parmesan, Lipase. You can also make Morbier, no, not Morbier, you silly goose. You can make Tilsit is another great cheese. You can make, let me think, hard cheeses. Gruyere, you can make Gruyere with thermophilic. There's a few. Have a go. Jackrabbit says, oh my, I've never noticed his eyes are two different colours. I can't unsee it now. Indeed. Spooky, isn't it? John says, yeah, he has cheese eyes. A blue cheese eye and a gay tossed. Oh yeah, that's the brown one. Yeah. Yash says, hey Gavin, hear me out. Old cheese plus gold plus water plus cornflakes equals tasty. Oh, that's crazy talk, but sounds interesting. DeMarcos says, what's your favourite cheese and way to make it? I'm a bit partial lately. I know I said that I love all the cheeses, but I'm a bit partial to the smelly cheeses, the washed rind cheeses, the red mould cheeses. They just have this something special, and you don't find them in the shops very much, that's for sure. You imagine a supermarket with smelly cheese in it. It's not going to happen, right? A washed rind cheese. So you've got to make them yourself. You're not going to find them in the supermarket. You'll have to go to a cheesemonger to find them. But my God, they are so delicious. So delicious. Taste amazing. So, even this Morbier that I'm making now, even though it smells to high heaven in the ripening box, when I take it out and turn it and wash it, it's going to taste amazing. I just know it. I can feel it in my water. Jay Verzi says, can I too be a curd nerd? Of course you can. All you have to do is make cheese, or love cheese, or be a lover of cheese, and then you can be a curd nerd too. Harriet says, have you ever used the microbial lipase? How did it compare to powdered lipase? Just use it for the first time, waiting for the cheese to mature. I have never used microbial lipase. There you go. I only use powdered calf lipase because it's a little bit milder than kid lipase. So no, I haven't used microbial lipase. I'll have to have a look for it. See if I can get some. Microbial lipase. Love all your suggestions. So good. But no, sorry Harriet, can't answer your question, honestly. I find using lipase where it's needed in the right cheese, it's a delight. The flavour is amazing. Lowney, I think that's how you say it, Lawney, recently found you. I was never lost, but yeah, I'm glad you found me. Very interesting how you make it and relaxing. Also, how is sheep's milk for a cheese? Very, very creamy. Very nice. Very high fat content in sheep's milk. It's very good. Kim, if you can pop up the link to the Pecorino Romano, and you'll see a sheep's milk cheese in action for Lowney. Very cool. Desire says, have you ever tried making a camel's cheese? No, you can only usually make a yogurty sort of cheese. It doesn't really set camel's milk. Well, this is what I've been told anyway. Camel's milk doesn't really set properly with rennet. The curd structure's not all there. So usually they're yogurt sort of cheeses. So they make a yogurt and then they drain it and it's like a soft cheese you got to eat pretty quick. Tia says, thank you for the recipes and showing me how to make cheddar cheese. No problems at all, Tia. My pleasure. Ruth says, it's really fun making cheese whilst watching the chat. I did a 45-minute two-handed stir with all of you keeping me company. Well done, Ruth. Just to continue, Ruth says, the cheddar has annatto and the Romano is white, so it will be another kind of planet cheddar. Yeah, indeed, that marbling is exceptional in those cheeses. If it turns out all right, Ruth, I'm going to copy your recipe and make a video of it. How's that sound? That'll be great. John says, 1 million feral camels in the outback. Hard to catch a milk, though, indeed. Reese says, do you have a recommendation for one piece of kit for a hobbyist cheesemaker who lives in a small place? Do I have a recommendation? My most used piece of equipment would be probably my large pot Yeah, it would be. The stainless steel pot that I've got, the, what is it, 3 gallon? What's that, 12 litres? No, it's longer, 3.5 gallon, I think. 15 litres it is. Yeah, so that pot is just, it does me well for all my stuff. If you can have one piece of kit, get a decent stainless steel pot, is what I say. Adam says, what's your favourite cheese to make and eat? Yep, we've done that already to death. But thank you, Adam, for your kind words there. Herb says, Kim's got the handle on the extra info. Great job. Kim, behind the scenes, make it all work. She does. She does a great job with all these links. Pablo says, love the videos. Gavin, you're the man. Thanks, mate. Danny, favourite cheese on a pizza? Mozzarella, of course, but I do like a bit of Romano. Some Romano grated on top of a pizza as well. Very nice. Or even Parmesan. Parmigiano Reggiano, as they call it, those Italians that don't like me, my video anyway. Yeah, those smellier cheeses add just a little bit more something to a pizza. Tia says, how do you make Limburger cheese? Indeed, and Kim's put the link up there. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Kim. Billy says, I have an electric stove and keeping the heat stable is awful. I purchased a small camping stove to beat this problem. Yeah, indeed, that's a great way to do it there, Billy, because when I teach lessons in the open air, well, when I used to anyway, we used to use camping ovens, the little small ones with a little gas bottle that you just plug in. Worked like a treat. Another way to do it, and I think a few people in the chat probably already have this, and it's a sous vide stick. So they put their cheese pot in a thing of water, whether it be a container or a kitchen sink. Put the sous vide wand in the water, not the milk, because it'll burn it. Put it in the water, and they control the temperature of the water, and then that heats the pot up to the right temperature. A little bit slower on temperature changes, but it works quite well, especially for holding the temperature of the milk. Pablo says, is that a puppy or a cat behind you? I think we've looked already. I think that's the doggo. Holly. That's Holly, doggo. Holly! There she is. Good on you, Holly, doggo. Yes, that's my dog, Holly. And the dog, Teddy, is down here. He's a West Highland Terrier. Do you want to see him? Ted, come here. Come here, Ted. Teddy's shy on the camera. Hang on. Come here. He doesn't want to be on the camera. And that's Teddy. He's in here too. So you got Holly and Teddy. Oh, you old dog. Yeah. Off you go. Yeah, so that's Teddy. I don't normally show Teddy on the stream. He doesn't like being picked up very much. But anyway, he's cool. Chloe says, is there a cheese you dislike or one you dislike the process of making? Love the videos much. Is there? No, I don't dislike cheeses per se. But I just saw Teddy in the replay. That's funny. The process, yeah. Maybe if I was better at it, maybe stretch curd cheeses like provolone and romano and yeah, they'll do. Romano, provolone and mozzarella. I struggle a little bit with, but now I've got a pH meter. I'm going to get back into it, and I should be fine. VB says, I'm a curd nerd. Very cool. Anyway, Kim's giving me the wrap-up. It's 2 minutes to the end of the show. Do your dogs have a favourite cheese, Danny? No. They eat all the cheeses. They don't care what it is. They'll eat it. So, yeah, if you want to pop over to the store, if you're in Australia or anywhere at the moment, because we've ceased international shipping, you pop over to littlegreenworkshops.com.au. If you want to support the channel, there's the YouTube memberships. There's a join button down below, and there's a link in the description to the Patreon page if you want to support the show ongoing financially. Thanks to everybody who gave me a super chat today. Really appreciate it, and hopefully I answered your question okay. Don't forget, if you want to buy a t-shirt, somebody asked about t-shirts, there's a merch shelf down below. Also, there's a link there Kim's popped in the chat for teespring.com/store/CheesemanTV. So you can check all that out. Yes, Teddy does have bed hair. But thanks everybody. Appreciate all your questions. We wouldn't have a show without your questions. So it'd just be the Cheeseman, not Ask the Cheeseman. But yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully you'll see the video. The Morbier video will be up in the next 48 hours, earlier to the YouTube members and patrons, of course. You get it 24 hours before everybody else. There's an incentive for you. So thanks very much, everybody, and hopefully we'll have another show next Saturday. I'll schedule it. You'll see the schedule, and I'll announce it on all the socials a couple of days before as well. Well, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds, and we'll see you next time.